Hey there, my friends. Hope you're all doing well today, whenever you may be watching this. You know, sometimes I do these videos and I kind of feel like I'm just repeating myself over and over and over, but I'm old. That's the kind of coach I would be. If I were a football or basketball coach, I'd be one of those old school coaches that just kind of pounded the basics into his players, and I'd take that approach to this lifestyle as well. So today I'm going to share my most basic plant-based advice for people that are interested in a plant-based diet. I always love when somebody pops into a plant-based or vegan video and says, I don't have any interest in being plant-based. And it's kind of like, okay, that's fine. Why'd you click on the video? But okay, enough of my sarcastic humor. But you know, I do these videos all the time and people watch them, and I'll still get asked questions that's kind of like, okay, do you really know me? Are you paying attention to me? Because it really is simple as what you see is what you get. I'm not much into food. I'm not into spending a lot of time with food, obsessing over food, constantly thinking about food, or preparing food. So I do this thing in the most basic way possible, but not just willy-nilly. I have certain priorities and things that I feel like I want to include on a regular basis, but it's just basic stuff. It really just comes to eating whole plant foods. And, you know, I'll get questions that is like, well, should I eat this one? What do you think about this vegetable? Or what do you think about this specific fruit? Or what do you think about this? And I'll say this, when it comes to whole plant foods, even things that I don't choose to include in my diet, just eat whole plant-based foods. Like, for instance, grains. I know there's a lot of controversy in the vegan world, especially with the raw people, about grains. I don't really eat grains all that much. Let's see, what's the closest I come? Actually, quinoa is not a grain. I eat buckwheat sometime, it's not a grain. Probably the only grain I do eat oatmeal from time to time, and oatmeal is just kind of more or less a filler to give me some calories, because I'm always trying to kind of just make sure I get enough calories to keep weight on my body. But it really is just whole foods. That's all I do, a combination of raw, a combination of cooked. And, you know, like I say, you can be healthy either way. I think you can do a completely raw vegan diet in a healthy way. I was just chatting with Melissa from Raw Food Romance the other day, and we were talking about some different foods and different things and different approaches. And yeah, I would totally co-sign what she eats. If she ever wants to come feed me for a week, she is more than welcome. I say keep the fats moderately low. Moderately low. Do you hear me again? It doesn't have to be obsessive. It seems to be another, I'm kind of a Goldilocks situation. Not too much, not too little, just right. Seems like people are either scarfing down fat because it's the good fat. Well, why can't I eat 4 avocados? It's the good fat. And they'll come up with all kind of screwy science. Well, it's because of and coconut is this, and it doesn't metamorphose. And I'm just like, oh my God. So I just say kind of keep it moderately low. And then there's the other people that obsess and hardly eat any overt fat at all, and maybe that works for you, will not work for me. And also, where your fats are concerned, don't just keep those overt fats low, but be sure you're getting and including sources of omega-3s every day, like the chia seeds, like the flax seeds, like the hemp seeds, but definitely the flax seeds. I just recently did a video on flax and chia. They're so cheap, they're so full of nutrition. Maybe go back and watch that video right there. But there are no magic foods or combos. I like to eat a variety of foods. I eat a lot of raw foods. Sometimes people say, well, you don't eat raw anymore. I've never been fully raw. Yes, I ate more fruit when I was in the tropics because, hello, I was in the tropics. It's kind of, very specific. If there's a tree 3 doors down from you, I'm being a little exaggerating there. I never was eating directly from the tree, but when fruit's all around you, yes, you're going to tend to eat that there. It was hot down there. Yes, it's hot here, but I'm always in air conditioning here. So anyhow, I mix it up. So I eat a whole wide range of stuff. I eat as much fruit as I can get my hands on. I eat greens. Greens are a big priority for me. I eat the sprouts. That's another one that's just very cheap and very powerful nutrition is broccoli sprouts, lentil sprouts. I eat legumes, another thing that y'all raw folks don't eat, but I eat legumes every day, and there's just, I'm sorry, there's too much evidence out there that, whether you look at the blue zones and you look at all these different areas that where the people are thriving, and they all have that commonality in there. They're including beans on a regular basis. And also, too, for the fact checker out there that always wants to say, the blue zones have been debunked, dude. The blue zones have not been debunked. If anything, the blue zones are not necessarily the blue zones anymore. It's because of one reason. So check facts. The blue zones, a lot of the blue zones are not as blue anymore simply because of our American influence. Fast food coming in there, a lot more choices. I saw that in Costa Rica. Now there is one blue zone in Costa Rica, but just Costa Rica in general, I saw that there has been a change down there since like the chain fast food and a lot of the products came in. So a lot of those places changed just because of a negative influence on them. But just get variety, man. I like to always recommend a lot of variety, a lot of different colors, a lot of different textures. Another one too, and my most basic advice is pay attention to your gut microbiome. I know I go over and over and I just repeat myself about how I'm a big fan, big disciple of Dr. Will Bulsiewicz, and I listen to a lot of his talks, but that's something else I was talking to Melissa about a couple of days ago. We were talking about the microbiome and how so many people just tend to just block that out when you talk about it, or they tend to not put any importance on it. And hey, she's on point. I want to do something. I want to do that, and I'm going to try to do that sometime this year. Is do the check and get my microbiome tested. Because that's one reason that I don't argue with somebody that is doing a fully raw diet if they're doing it in a certain way. I know Melissa's results, and that is one of the most important determinations of our health, is the diversity and variety of our microbiome. So I'm always, day after day, I'm not just saying, okay, I want to eat this, and this. I want to eat different things. When I'm eating vegetables, I'm trying to mix up the colors. I eat as far as vegetables go, and yeah, these are mostly steamed. I eat collard greens, I eat squashes, I eat zucchini, I eat beets. I steamed some beets yesterday, carrots, just anything you can think of. Like if say I have 3 or 4 different vegetables today, I try to mix that up the next day and, kind of just keep it going to where I can get about 30 different plant-based foods in my system every week. Not fanatic about it. I'm not one that's like, okay, counting how many do I have this week, but getting that variety in. And to me, I don't care. I don't care how anybody else follows their lifestyle. This is all about what I've put through my laboratory here, which is my body. I feel good. I'm just not going to argue with the results. The wheels might fall off one day, but until they do, just stay to that basic message. The less complicated you can keep it, the better. And when you start trying to get into this stuff where somebody's telling you, well, you need to, like, you're following an exact plan of, okay, eat this for breakfast, eat this amount, blah, blah, blah. That's just not taking into account your individuality. So you take these general things I'm talking about here, all these different foods, and also too, taste comes into play. You figure out what you like. And you have to have the taste there too. So that's why also one of my basic recommendations is getting yourself a solid little, and that's not that many recipes. If you have a solid 10 recipes that you really like, that'll adds a little taste to your food, then it's easy. And you just start putting one piece together, bing, bang, boom. It's not going to necessarily, you're not going to be perfect from the beginning, or you're not going to necessarily, you might be, if you're just beginning, you might be doing something now that you're not doing 6 months, a year, 2 years from now, because it's all about moving on, learning, and a little bit of evolution. So anyhow, hope you found this helpful. Like I say, I just kind of repeat this same basic stuff over and over. But if you like this video today, please give me a thumbs up. Have a great rest of your week, and I think I'll see you here again before the weekend or maybe on Saturday. Peace.